All right, any questions?
Are you kidding? I've got a ton of questions. First off, what is it?
Okay, that is a really good question. Let me see if I can help you out. Picture this. Picture a franchise event. Now picture a completely unexpected, seemingly spontaneous moment, a presentation that speaks to the importance of resilience, courage, and a sense of humor. Now picture all of that delivered with non-stop laughter and fun. And even better, picture that this entire concept has been time-tested in front of hundreds of audiences and is a guaranteed surefire hit. Ah, thank you. Franchise Surprise is quite simply the funniest, most unexpected, and in the end, most inspiring happening you could ever include in your franchise event.
All right, I'm intrigued. How does this work exactly?
Simple. You book Joe, give him the basic information that a new franchisee would have. Then he researches and writes customized material. And then he shows up at your opening reception, mingles with your current franchisees, and he is witty, charming, and handsome. Well, 2 out of 3 is not bad.
And then?
Probably the next morning, the new franchisees are brought on stage to introduce and to welcome them. As they leave, Joe warrants some extra attention based on his unique background and the fact that he holds the record for taking the longest time ever to be approved by legal. It turns out that a short, very funny video has been discovered on the internet that reveals Joe's background. This leads to a conversation about Joe's previous ill-fated business efforts and his outrageous promotional ideas for your franchise venture. Finally, when pressed, Joe agrees to share some of the motivational philosophy that got him where he is today. That is, out of the business.
Does he talk about customer service?
Oddly enough, yes. So we said, what is the key to consistently delivering great customer service? Here's the key. You may want to write this down. The key to delivering consistently great customer service: fewer customers. Think about it. Think about it. It just makes sense, doesn't it? So how do you get fewer customers? You get fewer customers through bad customer service. It turns out the key to good customer service is, in fact, bad customer service. It's the circle of life. Yes. So how do you deliver consistently bad customer service? This is the question, and we have a fantastic new program. This is what you're going to use. This is the question you're going to ask yourself when you're trying to decide how I'm best going to deliver consistently bad customer service. WWTSAD. WWT, what does that stand for? What would TSA do? That's right. Yeah. Now, I'm not suggesting you have the wherewithal of the federal government to make your customers' lives miserable. I'm saying we can learn from these people. Yeah, they're masters. They have one technique you can apply in your business tomorrow to make a significant difference. Here it is. This is fantastic. Write this down. Protect against the one by punishing the millions. That's right. Let the wisdom flow over you. Yes. Yes. Remember Richard Reed? Remember him, the shoe bomber? Remember him? Because of one guy on one flight, one time, tried to light his loafers. Because of him, when we go to the airport, it's a sock hop. One guy, one time, we got to take off our shoes. And then 6 months later, what happened? We had a guy put a bomb in his pants. That's right, the unit bomber. And I'm telling you right now, if we ever get to the point where I have to take off my pants in order to get on a plane, I am flying more. That's right. I made platinum and I got a thong. How you doing?
Sales skills are important. Does he have anything on that?
You tell me. I'm going to ask you to help me. Will you help me? Just stay right there. I'm going to ask you to help me in a second. I'm going to show you just one technique that we teach in here. It's unbelievably powerful. It's called answering a question with a question. When you get an objection in the form of a question, you ask a question back and you turn the tables on them and use it to your advantage. So when I point at you, here's what I want you, something like, say this. Say, why is your price so high? Say it really loud so everybody can hear.
Why is your price so high?
What is the deal with your wife? Now see, yeah. See, now he's not even thinking price. He's thinking, how does that guy know my wife?
You mentioned something about this also having a purpose beyond just being funny.
Yes. After a few minutes of Joe's outrageous motivational ideas, he asked the audience a very important question. How many of you figured out that this is just a joke? From that point on, Joe is replaced by George. And while still continuing in a very funny, entertaining way, George reinforces the importance of a sense of humor, resilience, and courage.
Could I see a little of that?
I don't see why not. My favorite example of instant change is Susan Boyle. Who knows who Susan Boyle is? If I'd asked 5 years ago, how many hands? None. Susan Boyle was a woman on the English singing the talent show. 47 years old, never been married, never been kissed. 47, never been kissed. Do you realize what an achievement that is? I mean, I don't want to brag, but I've been kissed. Yeah, like 3 times. So here's a woman who goes from people in her own home doesn't know who she is to worldwide acclaim. Every television show, and when something like that happens, I'm fascinated. You got me. How does that occur? And I came up with 2 things, and I think they're instructive for us. Number one, I think the reason why her story resonated with so much is because we respect her courage. Can you imagine what it was like for her to stand here in the wings waiting to walk on that stage? Because understand this, she knows what the reaction's going to be. You think about yourself. Jeffrey talked about the toughest door you open is your car door and the door into that salon. Think about her. Think about the guts that it took for her to walk out here, because she knows every eye is going to be on her and they're going to be nudging each other and their eyes are going to be rolling. They're going to be like, come on out, lady. Come on out for your humiliation. And in spite of that, she walked those 25 steps to the middle of that stage, looked into that spotlight, and smiled. How brave is that? I think we respect her courage. And secondly, I think we identify with her. I know it's true for me. I don't think you would be sitting in this room if you did not believe in your heart that you have skills and gifts and abilities that you have never fully released to the world. And you know the instant you do it, you're going to change your life. Don't you know that? She said she waited 47 years because she finally made a promise to her mom. And I'm here to tell you, if that's what it takes, my prayer for you is before you leave this room, you make a promise to the most important person sitting in this room. You make a promise to yourself that you're not going to wait another year, not another month, not another week. You're good before you fully release the gifts, skills, talents, and abilities you have. You will change your life. You will change the lives of the people around you. And we've never needed it more than we need it right now. And what's the worst thing that could happen? You could fail. Yeah, failure's overrated. I'll tell you one last story and I'll get out of here. My favorite example of a man who understood the relationship between success and failure better than anybody in American history, and that's Thomas Edison. Failed 1,000 times inventing the light bulb, but did he see it that way? No. In his diary he wrote, "I've not failed 1,000 times, I've successfully discovered 1,000 things that do not work." Yeah, we think that's what he wrote. He was writing in the dark. Folks, thanks so much. You've been so much fun. Thank you.
What if our agenda isn't exactly like what you described?
Well, then we can talk and figure out something that would work.
Is there any downside to this?
Well, you could wait too long to decide and Joe could already be booked. Man, wouldn't that be a bummer? Well, if there are no more questions, let me ask you one. Why in the world would you not do this? Come on, it's fun, it's impactful, it's memorable. You get a chance to show your franchisees that you have a sense of humor and you're willing to go the extra mile to entertain and inspire them. This is something they're going to talk about for years to come. And isn't that what you want? Come on, let's do it. Let's do a little franchise surprise.